Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. You're here because you want to really step up your earnings as an Amazon influencer, right? Today we're going to focus on finding those products that'll bring in some serious cash. You sent over a couple of great YouTube videos from Side Hustle Shuffle, and that creator definitely knows what they're talking about. So
Yeah, Side Hustle Shuffle, it's great. This is a really interesting time to be an influencer. You used to have
yeah,
to go with your gut, but now you can use all this data.
that's so true. And both of these videos kept mentioning Helium 10. Have you used that?
Oh, yeah. They have this new browser extension specifically for influencers. It's pretty cool.
I always thought Helium 10 was just for like big companies with tons of money,
Yeah.
not so much for individual influencers like
I
us.
know, right? But that's what's so awesome about this new extension. They took this super powerful software and made it so anyone can use it. Like, they're giving us the same tools the big guys have been using for years.
Okay, I'm interested. But what are we actually trying to DO with Helium 10? What's the end goal here?
Well, in the first video, the influencer says the goal is to build a portfolio of products that can make you $500 per month.
Interesting. And how do they suggest doing that?
It's not about finding that one magic product that'll make you rich overnight. Instead, they say you should find a bunch of lower priced products that sell really well.
Oh, so like don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. They use the example of a $39 plunger.
A plunger. Really?
It,
Yeah.
it might not be glamorous, but they say it sells over 6,000 units every month. So you get a 4% commission on each sale, you're looking at like $127 per month.
Wow. So you don't need to promote luxury items to make good money.
That's the point. There's so much potential in everyday stuff that people buy all the time.
Okay, but how do you even find these products?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start looking for a high-selling plunger.
That's where long-tail keywords come in. Both videos talked about how important they are.
Can you remind me what those are again? I always get them mixed up.
Sure, so long-tail keywords are like longer, more specific search phrases that people use when they're actually ready to buy something. Like, instead of just searching for shorts, they might search for gym shorts for men with zipper pockets.
Oh, I see. So you're not competing with everyone selling generic shorts. You're finding the people who want that exact product.
Yeah. And the Helium 10 extension shows you how many other videos are already ranking for a product, so you can find products with less competition.
That's awesome. Less competition means more views for us.
Yeah.
The influencer also mentioned that products between $50 and $150 tend to be the sweet spot.
Yep, it's all about balance. You want a high enough price to get a good commission, but not so high that people don't want to buy it.
Okay, so we've got our price range and our long tail keywords. Now, how do we use Helium 10 to actually find these awesome products? What do we do at?
This is where it gets really fun. You go on Amazon and plug your long tail keywords into the extension, and it gives you all sorts of data. Like, you've got a cheat sheet right there on your screen.
I know, right? No more guessing games. You're making
Mhm.
decisions based on actual numbers. But what kind of data are we talking about? Like, what does Helium 10 actually show you?
So some of it's pretty basic, stuff like the sales, rank, the price. And Helium 10 has something called the score, which takes into account things like the product's sales history and reviews.
Okay, makes sense. Then what?
Then it gets really interesting. You can see the 30-day sales data for each product.
Ooh, okay. Why is that so important?
Well, it basically tells you how much money you could make from that product. If it's been selling like crazy for the past month, that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you said it also shows you competitor data.
You can see how many other influencers are making videos about that same product.
Well, that's huge. Knowing how much competition there is could really make or break your success with a product.
Totally. Why try to squeeze into a crowded niche when you can find something with less competition?
This is making me want to try Helium 10 like right now. But I have to admit, all this data is a little overwhelming. Any tips for not getting lost in it all?
It can definitely feel like a lot at first. I think the key is to just focus on those main metrics we talked about. Don't get bogged down in all the little details.
Right. So basically use the data as a guide, not like a rule book.
Exactly. And remember, data isn't everything. You still need to use your own creativity and think about what your audience actually wants.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Just because a product is selling well doesn't mean it's a good fit for your brand or that you'll even enjoy making videos about it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to find that balance between what the data says and what feels right for you. Speaking of finding things, the influencer in the video mentioned something called the rabbit hole effect.
The rabbit hole effect. What's that?
It's all about how products on Amazon are kind of connected to each other. Like, let's say you're looking at air purifiers. As you're doing your research, you might also see things like replacement filters, essential oil diffusers, or even air quality monitors.
So it's like Amazon is saying, hey, if you're interested in this, you might also like these other things.
Hmm.
But how do we use that to our advantage?
It's all about building a niche. Instead of just being the air purifier person, you could become the indoor air quality expert. You can create a whole bunch of content around all those related products.
So you're not just promoting one product, you're creating a whole library of information for your audience.
Exactly. It's about thinking bigger and becoming an authority in your niche. And Helium-10 lets you make lists of products so you can keep track of all the cool stuff you find.
Oh, that's smart. So you don't have to try to remember everything you saw.
Yep. Staying organized is key when you're dealing with this much information. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the nitty-gritty of finding products, but I want to take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm ready. What are you thinking?
I think this whole conversation about data niche building and using tools like Helium-10, it's not just about being a successful Amazon influencer, it's about the future of online shopping in general.
Okay, I'm listening.
hmm
How is this about the future of online shopping?
Well, it's all about people trusting other people more than they trust big brands. You know, like you're way more likely to buy something if your friend recommends it, or if you see your favorite influencer using it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like word of mouth, but online.
Exactly. And that's why influencers need to really focus on building relationships with their followers. It's not just about having a ton of followers, it's about having a community that trusts you.
So it's less about just talking AT people and more about having a conversation with them.
Yeah. And you gotta be authentic. People can tell when you're faking it. You have to actually believe in the products you're recommending.
Right. It's like if you wouldn't tell your best friend to buy it, you shouldn't tell your followers to buy it either.
Exactly. That's why I think influencer marketing is so cool. It's just real people connecting with each other and sharing cool stuff.
It's definitely a cool way to shop.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the main things you want our listeners to remember?
Well, the first thing is don't be afraid of data. Tools like Helium-10 can really help you make better decisions about what products to promote.
Data is your friend, but I know it can be a little scary at first.
It's true. But remember, you're still in control. Use the data to help you, but don't let it dictate everything you do.
So it's all about finding that balance.
Yep. And remember what we talked about with niche building. Find those related products and become the expert in that area.
Right, like become the air purifier guru or whatever you're passionate about. And speaking of passion, I think that's the most important thing. Focus on what you love.
Definitely. If you're not excited about the products, it'll show.
Authenticity is key. Find your niche, connect with your audience, and have fun.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm feeling super inspired. Now I'm ready to try out Helium-10 and find some awesome new products. What about you? What are you most excited about?
Honestly, I'm really interested in that whole rabbit hole thing. I think it would be fun to make a series of videos about a bunch of related products.
That's a great idea. Think outside the box and get creative. And to everyone listening out there, we want to hear from you. What product category are you most excited to explore?
Yeah, tell us what you're thinking. Until next time, happy influencing.
This has been The Deep Dive, helping you make sense of it all. See you next time.